Welcome, friends. It's me, Suze Pratt. Come to get a little recording from my Facebook Live and bring it to Zoom and get it to YouTube. So this post was live on September 28th, and it's called Spiritual Research Test. Hello?
Tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns in your head, they are crazy. Another month is breaking, heart is taking over. When the violence comes to silence, we must be mistaken. It's the same old theme, 6, 9, 6 in your head, you're still fighting. With their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns in your head, they are playing. In your head, sound, what's in your head? In your head, sound.
Well, good morning. It's me, Suze, your spiritual researcher, holistic stylist, woman on a mission, whatever. Usually I don't speak this early in the morning, I have to be honest. But believe it or not, every day I am on some kind of case, believe it or not. I like to know what's going on, selfishly enough, in my own world. Now, you know, when I say my world, people would assume that what you're speaking about would say be specifically Ferguson or specifically St. Louis or specifically the United States. You see what I'm saying? Maybe even just the Midwest. But I will say this. I am so confused about what I watched this morning. And surely, here again, I can admit, I really don't have the answers. Just like anybody, you come into a story and you have a sincere interest to figure out what the fuck's going on. And with your experience, if you have dealt with a treacherous person, and then all of a sudden, poof, there they are in the middle of it. See, that's your first tag. Trouble ahead, ding, ding, ding. I had a tag before I realized that. So see, that's the premonition tag, which would be this nice guy here. In the first clip I watched, which wasn't produced by the Conscious Consumption Network, you know, Pippi Longstock and Mel and the Blowhole. But anyhow, here they are right smack dab in the middle of it with this bad video. But in another video that was made professionally, you know, it was really an odd thing. they had to stop their filming before this document was signed. And so I thought, okay, let's go to the full-blown, experience here so we can actually see what happens after the good copy cut out. I hope that makes sense to anybody that will follow this investigation. So, in the clear copy, everything was about peace and love and happiness and doing good things. And then in this entire conversation, and when you get into the bigger thing, the first thing that this guy is doing is calling out the African brothers. And like anybody would say, when they're trying to hold you down, they'd say, you know what, you don't have any right to speak about this because you don't know about it. Well, now if you come into it with a sincere appreciation for understanding and discernment and choose to figure something out, isn't that the very thing that we're told to do by our superiors, whether they be an upstanding alleged journalist like Mel, or a government official that would be upstanding, or anyone that holds high places, right? But I'm just documenting this because, of course, I'll be bringing forward a larger piece. So when you go to document your journey or timeline an event or witness to what's going on, it's best to do it in little pieces. And that way you can go back and you can add those pieces all together. So you see, when I do my live stream shows, that's exactly what you see me do. And then they're all time stamped and they're all clean. And hopefully I can bring a very detailed version to my friends that know that I'm a real human being, just being in my true nature as a spiritual being. I mean, just watch. Let's just watch the signing of the document. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to be feeling the vibrations of the screen. And I already see a lot of action. So this is going to be quiet a little bit, but I have to do what I have to do. I've turned it all the way up.
Here's the brownies I ate.
Mag los, mag eerst achter los. Oké.
Great footage, CCN. Awesome. Better than mine. The Khoisan Nation Reclaims South Africa is what the name of this piece is. And Mel devotes all her time to stopping American genocide, stopping South African genocide, because she's from the Boer family and that's her home, but she can't go there because she wrote a book slamming Nelson Mandela, and so she's been thrown out of her own country.
People, social religion, social vitality. Welcome to our new time.
so we get audio back.
How we discovered the rest of the world and bless the statue for the southern nation. Thank God.
Okay, so of course everybody wants to be sovereign, and we know the bigger story behind that. And of course, free and sustainable would be the CCN motto. But something that Mel had said, because I watched her most recent episode of Wax Lyrical, which just hit YouTube today, and she spoke about how much danger that King Cornelius was in, and this is at the Castle of Good Hope, but she said he was in so much danger and that they had to be on the down low down before he signed the paper. And the part of the video that is not clear enough quality to discern what happened was the part where he signed the paper. So the thing that I find odd, and I mean, don't get me wrong, you guys that know me know that I have never been outside of America, and I've been to, under 6 states, in 53 years. So all I know is simple, stupid prejudice, black and white, which of course, I don't participate in. But over here, see, it gets even trickier because, somebody that is uneducated like myself, I say, well, what color is he? Because he's a beautiful color, I would say, of caramel. And I would know a lot of people that I could put into the subcategory of caramel, and a percentage of their lineage would be straight up what you call Caucasian, and the other part of the lineage would be any one of many subgroupings, whether we would, think of a Brazilian that would have beautiful darker skin, darker than pasty white. And see, this is how they separate and divide people. And why should my silly ass break down color that much? I'll tell you why. Because as a nationally board certified hair colorist with a PhD in color whoop-de-fucking-do, I can tell you that it all breaks down to levels. And so you have level 1, which would be black, and you have level 10, which would be the palest blonde. So if I was putting this whole thing into hair color terms, this would be a level 7 hair color, or skin color, my bad, sorry, King, but the skin color would be a level 7. And I have to jump back to hair color terms. That would be considered medium blonde. So I heard a medium blonde guy talking about getting rid of the level 1 and 2 black guys. But here again, I'm not from South Africa, but I really do love the global community, and people are people no matter where it is. This guy wants to bring back jobs and stuff. I didn't even know. I didn't know at one time they had a thriving business community that got lost. So, of course, here in America, being a self-employed businesswoman since 1985, I could surely speak to a time when, probably 70% of all local business was small business. It was before corporations, and it was sure the hell before every small business person got so terrified that they incorporated or became an LLC. I don't know. Now, where these guys are, and this is, like I said, it's South Africa, and this is the Castle of Good Hope. But he says that there's 4 different specific groups there. And he spoke about that in his earlier video, which I'm really just here to document the hubbub and see what goes on in this specific video. And then I will jump back and catch up with the 3 that I've seen. But this is number 4. And so if I spend this much time, see, here's the thing about whether you're watching a video or reading a blog or going to a class or whatever you may be doing. They say that if you learn one thing, that the time wasn't wasted. So I've been on this since 10 in the morning, maybe a little earlier. I'm not sure what time it is right now. But it, to me, would have been wasted time if I invested 15 minutes watching that woman that drives me crazy that ripped me off for $4,000 that's on the run now. Or if I watched some dude that I didn't know, or a bad video. So I'm learning, and I have learned more than one thing. And we'll have to go into hair, but I'm not going to tease Mel right now. It's not a very good video for a professional videographer.
You know, by the time, there's 3 words to say basic. You say dangas. You say caballos.
So many more people are there in this presentation than what was in the original clip I showed you. Or, well, I didn't show you. The original clip I was watching before I went live. I'll have to show you. That's what I meant. I'll have to show you. Because this is very interesting. It's a live stream. But you would think too, I mean, I know when I do my shows, Mel, and I know I'm not as professional as you, but see, I run my live stream through my iPhone, and then I also Zoom this, and I know Mel has the Zoom app because it's free, and she was using it for all sorts of purposes, unless they kicked her off. Lord, I hope Zoom kicked Mel off. That would just be great. That's probably what happened. But if you were an upstanding person, you would have fixed this. Very interesting. I'm going to jump ahead. I mean, I know it's not that interesting, but it's interesting to me. All right, more poor footage. And you can see now I'm going to jump by about 3-minute segments. And I'm going to say I've confirmed spirit. This ain't nothing but a bunch of shoddy-ass footage that could be anything. You know, that's what I say. See, this doesn't even look like the same place. Hey, whose hand's trying to hide shit? You better not be hiding from me, Mel. CW tries to hide too. Y'all think you're something. Oh, hey, we got some talk. Hang on, let's see.
Wow, that was a momentous.
That was momentous, yes.
Absolute tears. I mean, South Africa finally a free and
Mel was
sovereign nation.
crying.
This is the big question everyone is now going to be asking.
I'm asking, who did your hair?
How are the ANC going to take this? What is going to be the after effect of this?
that what I would like to do is to take a moment of silence
Oh,
in commemoration.
I can't stay for that.
What's gonna
Sorry.
happen next. I'd like to read what he said this
Oh,
morning,
now you're going to read what he said?
Today.
I'm not doing that either.
using them.
This is Karen Smith talking.
Receiving the relief that they so desperately need.
And
for all
Mel went
senseless brutal
with
murders to cease
Karen to do this, but I
immediately.
thought Mel wasn't
There is no
allowed
need for
in
any
the
of this
country.
genocide to
So
be
how did
going
Mel
on.
get in the country if she's on the
Country
run?
of unlimited
This gets
resources
more
and
confusing by
abundance.
the minute if
And
you
there's
really
actually
stop
no
and
reason
ask
why
a few
anybody there needs
questions.
something. I totally agree with you.
And she doesn't want
Mel,
nobody
and,
to suffer.
I would thank you and your show.
Oh, and
for
you're
standing
thanking Mel
behind this heroic
and her
effort.
show, and she's heroic.
Because it has been
Blow me
a
sideways.
lot for everybody to mention. Now we have help with sharing.
Oh,
this
and you're trying to
link.
raise money. Okay, wait, I get what's going on. Hang on, slow down. Okay. So the King dude was talking about a trust fund. And so the first thing that I have to go back to is when I got recruited into the horse and pony show or whatever you call it. Mel was standing right next to Kevin Annette's side with the OPPT money fundraiser. And of course they were still talking about Sasha Stone back then and his money. And y'all know I wasn't even with Mr. Computer Head Online back when that was going on. And I learned all about that in my journalism academy where Mel, tried to suck the lifeblood out of me. That's a whole other story about vampires and parasites and mind games and sorcery and witchcraft. So whatever, Mel. But the dude, the King, was really happy that the trust fund had been established, but you know what? Before he even got his grubby paws on it, some of the money was missing. So he wanted to know what happened to the money, and he got a piece of paper, and that was in the other video. So let's see what else we got to say. Let's jump a few more minutes. Speak.
In constructive ways. We need to see the violence and the murders stop immediately.
Right.
And for those people out there who may still be involved in perpetuating these crimes under whatever policies you believe are effect under the African National Congress, such as Black economic empowerment, where huge minority groups have been marginalized and dispossessed of their lands and possessions, many of them have been murdered. This is your...
Oh, Mel. And here you go, dividing again. Honey, Blondie, maybe somebody braided your braids too tight and your fucking head hurts. But see, keeping calling somebody a minority, you're only being part of the problem. And like see, everybody thinks, the white people like this color. See my color? That we're the majority and that's why we run stuff. But your dumbass already knows that the Caucasian, the people that you call white, see, they were genocided in Europe and the old country, don't you know? Like, say, the Glasscocks, for example, that you couldn't give a shit about. They started out in Scotland, were persecuted, built stained glass windows all throughout the old churches in Europe, and see, they were Protestants, they weren't Catholics. And you know what happened. Oh, and don't forget, if you even looked in a piece of glass, you ding-dong, they said that you were a spellcaster and you were a witch and they burnt you. So I'm just showing, say, how white people have been genocided too. And that's something people forget here in America. And it's like ignorant. It's stupid. You don't really know your history, but here again, your history's been whitewashed and rewritten and you're a part of it. So I do have compassion in my heart, even for you, Mel. But the point is, everybody's a slave. Color doesn't make a damn bit of difference. That card has been chopped up and thrown in a fire pit, don't you see? Because the only reason they use it is to turn human against human, and that way they don't have to spend as much money on genocide. And at the same time, you see, they can make people feel guilty and get them to give their money to somebody that's only going to do the wrong thing with it again. Believe it or not, it's not only South Africa where this is going on. Currently in the United States, I mean, I know you know, let's say at least a half dozen states are in such dire straits that your footage ain't no big whoop, don't you get it? And then if you're putting out footage that says we're sovereign, man, boo-boo, well then, you know, you get somebody like me, who of course didn't go to college, but, you know, I'm thinking this. Now, if a couple different level color people are all of a sudden sovereign and not fighting, and they've got it all figured out, and you got the footage, well, why couldn't we do that here in, you know, AKA America, right? But see, I think you got to spin in this somehow. And wherever you are, there is trouble, and it smells like cow dung. So I don't know what you're doing. And maybe this King guy is a good dude. I mean, you know, but see, you can't pull association all the time to put yourself into a righteous movie or movement. Movie or movement. That was good, sis. But you put yourself into a place where you try to smell like a rose. And that's just not the case. Let's continue on. I just want to see if you got anything else to say before I go show people the real footage.
So the people now have the courage to stand up and start bringing to action all these things that need to be done in order to facilitate the change.
Yeah, that's it.
Mel will always, and I always please, people of South Africa, stand together. Do not let this chance go to waste. Do not let it be all free.
Hey, who's coming into
Stand
this picture?
together. Put yourselves and your organizations behind this move. I do believe it is our one chance to make this work.
Uh-huh.
Yes, indeed, Karen. It is our one chance to make this work. And we
The
won't
one
see the
chance.
mainstream media covering this. Oh, you
Okay.
probably won't even see this in the newspapers. This is going to be an underground sharing of information. This is going to be people on the ground who know what's going on, passing around the links, showing the people what has happened and how symbolic it is.
You're
The
right.
king has claimed the land. He is the rightful sovereign of what was known as South Africa, now known as the Republic of Good Hope.
Now, Mel, and you already know this. Check out Thomas and Jane Glasscock. They held the Land Patent Act. And guess what? Nobody can hold land here in the United States. They murdered the Glasscocks and stole it from them, see? This is all historical evidence. So I could be Queen Sue's a fucking shit turd mountain. You get it? For real? None of this matters. As long as this shadowy government's in place that you say this one guy is now broken free from.
We now need to look at what that means for each and every South African, for us as sovereign beings, for freedom-seeking, justice-seeking individuals.
Wait, just South Africans? Because if you were true, you would have been able to convert your language and spread it out across the world. Because even if you get one place that's flowers and sunshine and lollipops, see, that other 98.3% that's getting all tore up from the flora wouldn't do y'all a bit of good anyhow. And whether you could go home or not to deal with your bullshit parents in your mansion is a whole different story, isn't it? You just want that big crib your mom and dad's got.
What does that really mean? Symbolically, the precedent has been set. Now it's just up to us to make it happen.
Oh, it's up to us.
And we will post the agreement,
Oh,
the formation of Good
I
Hope.
gotta get
We'll
mine
post
cheap.
that on the site as well, so that people can see exactly who is included, what is happening, what they have agreed on, that we are going to be one nation under God with no BBBEE, no land claims, no burning of schools, no rioting in the streets, no robbing businesses, no dispossessing anybody. We will post the entire agreement so that people can see that this is not pie in the sky. This is a very serious endeavor.
It is serious, you damn straight.
Okay, well, we have lots of work to do because obviously we have to distribute this. The live link will be ready within the hour to be distributed. And in the meantime, I'm going to be posting the agreement and the articles as far as we can. So we have lots to do. And I do want to say a big thank you to Craig Monroe. I can see him over there. For obviously bringing us the live feed directly from the castle in Cape Town. If I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
he brought the live
Yes.
feed because she wasn't there.
Directly
Okay.
from the old fort, also known as
Okay.
the Castle of Good Hope
But you
in
said
Cape
you were
Town.
with Karen.
Probably the oldest building on South African soil to be built, and it's obviously very symbolic in terms of where it sits and all the history that surrounds it. So it was really beautiful to see the ceremony going on. Great to see a nice turnout of people, and we look forward obviously to what this brings. We can still see some footage coming in from Craig over there. Well, of the crowd obviously that has gathered.
Craig needs to get some better footage, girl. You better talk to him. Right, because you
Those are
can't
the
even.
walls of the castle. For anybody who doesn't know Cape Town, you can see the famous Table Mountain in the background.
Because it's flat. I get it. That's cool. I'd have to give this footage a 3.7 in quality,
Is
Mel.
there anything else you'd like to add?
I would just like to say,
Hey, what happened? No, stop. What? The show just cut out? Oh, this is Mel's indoctrination awareness campaign. You should watch.
And with the upsurge in information now available,
Please don't donate to her.
it's ever easier to access free and
There she is. Mm,
the exploration
There's
of this
the-
information.
there's the compound.
Experimental project, which will provide a fully support to express themselves and
Very
educate
interesting.
the world.
I see my live stream almost went out.
2015, Conscious Consumer Network was launched to the world. Nobody thought we would make it this far. CCN is the longest running free and independent media network. on
3
this
years, and they're the longest
CCN
running
is a unique
media
collaboration
network.
of hearts and
Keep that in
souls.
mind.
Bring new information from different perspectives to educate and inform. Since we started CCN, we've had only one desire: the pursuit of a free, fair, just, sustainable world. And
That's all
this
she
has
wants
not
for your money.
changed. Having overcome
If you give her
challenges
all your
over the
money,
last 2 years,
she'll put all your money
CCN is
towards
here to
that.
stay, and we've got great things lined up for
I wonder what you
2017.
did with my money, Mel.
Help keep CCN
Did you help
funded
anybody?
and supporting the
I always hope you did.
2017 Network Support Fund.
Of course, beyond yourself is what I meant. Now, I want to show you guys the real footage, and I will have that in my evidence today that goes arm in arm with this report. So, that's hers. Well, that's that guy's. You remember the guy that we met. This is by someone else. It's not by Conscious Consumer Network. It is by Tan Dab and to Zonk, and it's seen 5.3K views. So it's seen basically 3 times more than what Mel has put out, but you know, that doesn't really mean anything. So I'm going to show you what I did. Okay. If we go to about, let me get it. Here he's at the table, and the papers have come into range. And I'll just play a snippet from here.
Sophia declaration of immediate cessation causes which induce the justice and justify the cessation of the Western Cape, Northern Cape, part of the Eastern Cape until the Fish River, to form a new country called Good Hope under God, in a treaty by the hand of the Khoisan nation, patronage of the Afrikaner, Eurocana.
Keep in mind where the wall is.
I, King Kuba Cornelius III, rightful king of the royal house of the Khoisan nation, and the voice of the Khoisan nation, first nation and only indigenous people of Southern Africa,
The only
secede the lands
indigenous
of the
people.
Western Cape, Northern Cape, and part of the Eastern Cape up until the Fish River into a new country called Good Hope. And the treaty and in a binding agreement for the power sharing in the new government with the Eurocana nation, Afrikaner nation, and the Caleb nation, in convention assembled on the 24th day of September 2017, declared that the frequent violations of the Constitution of South Africa by the government and its encroachment upon the reserved rights of the people fully justified these provinces in then withdrawing from the Republic and declare a qualified right to remedial secession. In our case of gross violation of human rights of all our said nations' peoples, in deference to the opinions and wishes of the other provinces, we forbore at this time to exercise this, our right under international African Union and United Nations laws. And now the provinces of the Western Cape, Northern Cape, and part of the Eastern Cape, up into the Fish River, have formed one nation, one country called Good Hope, having resumed a separate and
Okay, so I had to answer the phone. My apologies, right? First thing I want you to notice, in the CCN footage, they were much closer to the wall. And in this footage, where the signing is actually going on, you can see that it's a different group of people in this background. And that was the first thing I noticed when I was scoping out Mel's. Of course, you guys wouldn't have known that because you wouldn't have seen the original footage, right? Okay, so let's jump ahead. You see, this whole time, he's with the papers. And what he's saying is that someone has told him that every bit of this must be read out loud, which I think is good. Now, what's interesting, in this footage, you see the gentleman lets the ladies up. They are there for the signing of that document, which I think is proper as well. These must be women in his lineage, because you can see they're the only ones that are wearing their indigenous ceremonial clothing. I don't know if there's a proper name for that, but I would say these are all family, and now they've come to the forefront to watch the signing, and they're standing there the whole time, and we're going to go up to the end of the video, and this is when the video cuts out. So I'm going to give you the last, we'll go the last minute for our investigation. I always like to have a plan. Okay, I'm going to give you the last minute, like I said.
In the present cases above, the fact is established with certainty. You assert that the ANC government has deliberately refused for years past to fulfill their constitutional obligation to the good people of the country. The general government, as the common agent, passed laws to carry into effect the stipulation of the country. For many years, these laws were executed, but an increasing spillage on the part of the government and parties with similar agendas has led to the disregard of the obligation and the laws of the government has ceased to effect the objective of the Constitution. Thus, the Constitution companion has been deliberately broken and disregarded by the government, and the consequences follows that the Western Cape, Northern Cape, and parts of the Eastern Cape is released from their obligations.
It says, sadly, the video cuts short here, but we hope to upload the full video showing His Majesty signed the declaration, and it is now law. So whether you're looking at the CCN footage or whether you're looking at this footage, we have no documented footage of the actual signing of the agreement. Now, to me, I also have to bring to mind the experience of being here, where I'm at, in these divided states that we once called America. See, we know that our paperwork doesn't mean squat. And we know how our rights were stolen. Anyone that has followed anything of any substance online will know of these things. And around the world. And then they'll also see a timeline that emerges where you can see how places are attacked on such a daily basis that nobody can keep up. So paperwork, schmaperwork. And I don't know if y'all ever heard about that straw man story, but maybe you don't have it there in South Africa. We got it here, man. I'm gonna let the video play out and see what happens.
The ends for which the Constitution was framed are declared by itself to be to form a more perfect union, establish justice.
A more perfect union. That sounds like ours on that School of Rock, remember? We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, liberty, blah, blah, blah. Same old story, different day. And in the meantime, you know, they'll tell you a couple dozen people, you know, have passed in the whole Puerto Rico, you know, peninsula getting wiped out or whatever. But, you know, for real, there's millions missing. And from there, you know what happens. It's the same old story as Haiti. And the FEMA comes in, and the needles and the bottled water and the hospitals. And next thing you know, they don't know where little sister went, and somebody's walking around without a kidney. So I'm going to have to say that with that, I give you one more song because I'm that kind of bitch, right? Which of the following have you seen online, video, recent advertising? I like the none of the above. And for real, I gotta pay my Lowe's bill tonight, and that's a crock of shit too. I don't even like Lowe's. Now, this is EYWA's newest song, and I played this on one of my most recent YouTubes. It is on erotica, and poof, here comes this wild thing. So I have permission to play Ewa's music, and this is out of Germany, and you know, I just think it fits with the festivities or whatever, so I like it. Coded messages, always in songs, always in video. See, it's not what you exactly think it is. You think you know what it is, but everybody's tricky. I love trying to figure out what people are saying when I don't know the language. I make the story in my head, just like y'all should. They want to be free. They want to live in a happy society. They want to take their masks off and walk barefoot and do whatever the hell they want. Right. But you always got the fucking down the rabbit hole, right? Isn't that what that rabbit mask is? Finding out what somebody's really about when you're in the dark with them. I think they just took some ayahuasca or something. Did you see him puking in the trash can? I've never taken ayahuasca, and I don't need to go on my journeys. I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just telling you guys about me. And if somebody put a snake up to my face, even if it was a wooden snake, I'd be giving them the karate chop. I am so innocent just seeing all the American stuff. But to me, this is a lot more innocent than the pedophilia. So, see, it does get you thinking, right? I mean, nobody's doing anything wrong here. Nobody's hurting anybody. They're doing an expression of art. And I love the music. I like figuring out mysteries. I dig the orbs. And you know, every day of your life you need to live and grow, right? That is our purpose and our mission. Oh, wow. Check this out. Oh my gosh. Wait till you see this. I always have something. Okay. Did you guys see her cool hat? Where'd the hat go? Not the bunny hat. Why don't I see it? I want to. She had a hat on that looked like a starfish. Okay, so hang on. She had a hat that looked like that. I thought I saw, but isn't this beautiful? And this is a stone that I've affixed to this. And then I'm going to stick it on another stone and make another one of my spectaculars, my art. Okay, so we're done with that song. I know it's kind of freaky. I said I love it and it's universal language. And this guy says I didn't understand the language, but I like it. I love that. I love that. Bravo, bravo. Truly a superb musical treat for all the senses. Thank you. Excellente. Girl, you got a lot of action going on this song. Good for you. You deserve all the best in the world, and I'm really fortunate to call you my friend. So, anyhow, it's me, Suze, signing off on this part of the investigation, but I promise you, I'll be back with more. Yeah, I'm always back with more. Don't ever worry about that. So, I have 3 days worth of stuff that I need to discuss with everybody. That will be coming up in my next YouTube, and boy, is it interesting. So, until then, namaste and peace out.